So technically, if I'm being honest, this whole idea started last year in Painting 2 when we were assigned to uh, pick a persona and then make a bunch of paintings about it. And me being a history nerd and liking, World War One, World War Two, I decided to take the stories that I've heard and read about and painted them as a veteran. And it's kind of just expanded to even more. So originally it was just 3 paintings, and now it's all of this stuff. So it was kind of a weird process I went through to make all of these. I had to try to put myself into that mindset and kind of think about what these people went through. And of course, we can kind of relate with what's going on right now in Ukraine and stuff that's happened in previous years, but it's kind of hard to put yourself in that situation and get through it like these people did. So, yeah. That's kind of all I have to say, to be honest.
Can you
I don't know if anybody's got questions. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how you are thinking about the different mediums and the text on the wall a little bit, and like just the way you're sort of thinking about bringing the viewer into the stories?
So, I mean, a lot of the media I used was, of course, painting and charcoal and ink, which were kind of my roots from when I first started with, getting into art and everything ever since I was young. So I felt like going back to those core things that I knew, so closely would be a good kind of benchmark for this. And I really wanted to get that kind of grittiness feel, that hand felt, natural feel, and kind of get to that, that grittiness, that kind of unperfect uncleanliness of, how conflict is, how it's, it's chaotic. So nothing's perfect about it. So I felt like with that kind of medium and all of that stuff, it would be able to replicate that and kind of depict that through my work.
Can you talk a little bit more about the source, like the images, like where did you come up with the imagery from? Were you looking at photo references or?
A lot of photo referencing. Some of it would just be kind of photo reference and then also imagination. I kind of thought a little bit of kind of dreamlike in some of these. Like for this one was more dreamlike. These 2, these 3. But a lot of it was from photo references as well.
The way that you display them seems like you're like almost like making a map or making decisions like about how to tell the story, like where the connections are visually, and like maybe which ones you're gonna pull out and like put into panels for because I know you have some digital, more graphic novel kind of. Do you think this might get scanned in and put into that format eventually?
Possibly, yeah. That's an idea.
And on that same note, like just putting them up like this, and you said the sort of like the physicality of the material, and there is this unmediated immediacy to drawing and also to painting to some extent too, like just there's no screen, there's no like it feels very, like I said, just sort of unmediated and immediate. And I wonder, with this display and with that fact and this like the text and this emphasis on storytelling, if there's also kind of something about it that is about you trying to figure it out, like trying to figure out or put yourself in this position to get to something or discover a truth or or a connection with your grandfather or something else? Like, is there something that you're trying to like actually work through while you're working on the?
I mean, I think I'm mostly trying to figure out why we resorted to go this far from a simple, disagreement in, political ideas or just even borders to, mass killings and sending men out to go fight and having civilians get in the way of that and all that stuff. So why resort that far when we could easily resolve it with just a few words?
On the front wall, there's a quote by Tim O'Brien.
Yeah.
Is it from The Things We Carried?
Yeah.
Okay, why'd you pick that quote from that book?
I just thought it was a really impactful quote, and it kind of just, to me, for a war story, it's kind of, because today and in previous years, a lot of people have made war stories and all of them have this, it's a good story, it has a good ending, but it's a war story, it shouldn't have that.
One thing I'm noticing that I didn't really notice before today, and maybe it's because you've included a few more things than what I saw earlier, but I really like the way that some of the pieces start to feel like the soldier, the up-close soldier at the bottom right, how it feels like it could be the same figure that's the skull face in the top left area. I like some of the things that feel like they're starting to happen with relationships that you're creating. And I think it's just compositionally there, right? Like just you've made a compositional choice that's the same, but then it kind of like equates those figures in some way, which I think is really interesting. Were you thinking about that when you designed it, or did you think about it once you put it up and kind of saw everything together?
When I was making them, I was not, but when I was putting them up, I was kind of thinking of how it could look almost symmetrical
Yeah.
and a bit of a connection like that.
Mm-hmm.
If there's nothing else, I think we're good. Court is adjourned.
Yeah.